The galaxy had never seen a gathering like this before. Around the burning blue star, hundreds of warships floated like predators in orbit. The great empires of the galaxy had come together, each showing off their strength. Their ships gleamed with polished metal, their banners stretched across hulls, and their cannons were armed and ready. It was called the Grand Fleet Gathering, a show of power to remind every species who ruled the stars. The Creel Dominion brought battleships larger than moons. The insectoid swarm brought living bioships that pulsed like giant beating hearts. The reptilian Dravok displayed war cruisers with scales of iron, breathing plasma fire into space for display. Admirals, commanders, and generals from dozens of empires watched from their bridges. They laughed, they cheered, they boasted. No one questioned their power. For in the galaxy, strength was everything. But then, space itself rippled. It started as a faint distortion, a small shimmer in the black void. Alien scanners picked it up first, but before anyone could sound a warning, the rift tore open like a wound in the fabric of space. A shape began to emerge. One ship. Just one. It slid out of the rift like a shadow, its hull dark and sharp-edged. No banners, no insignias, no escort. Its surface carried strange glowing lines, pulsing faintly like veins of fire. Its engines burned with an eerie white glow, silent but powerful. The fleets went quiet. Then, laughter. Is this a joke? A sworn admiral buzzed, its mandibles clicking. One ship. Against us all? The reptilian Dravok roared with laughter. Humans. Always arrogant. Do they think a single warship can stand against the fleets of the galaxy? Mocking messages flew across the comms. Some commanders jeered. Others insulted. A few even suggested the humans had sent the wrong ship by mistake. But the warship did not answer. It did not broadcast a name. It did not open communication. It simply drifted, silent and still, its hull gleaming with unnatural light. The silence was unnerving. Admiral Korvath of the Creel Dominion narrowed his 4 eyes. Something was wrong. His ship's scanners swept across the human vessel. But nothing. Report, he barked. The Creel technicians worked quickly, their screens flashing with static. Admiral, scanners are failing. We cannot read its weapons, its shields, its power levels. It's not there. Across the fleets, other commanders reported the same. Impossible. No readings. Shields. Armor. Engines. We cannot detect. Confusion spread. What was this human warship? Why could no empire read its systems? The laughter grew weaker. The mocking words slowed. A heavy silence fell again. The human warship remained motionless, like a predator watching from the shadows. Its silence was louder than any threat. On the bridge of the Dravok warcruiser, General Vark hissed with frustration. Enough of this game. Signal the human ship. A sharp, harsh message was sent. This is the Grand Fleet of the galaxy. You are trespassing. Leave now, or be destroyed. The message echoed across the stars. Fleets waited. Eyes fixed on the dark warship. No reply. The human ship did not move. Did not blink. Did not even acknowledge the warning. Some commanders grew uneasy. Others grew angry. They mock us. They think themselves untouchable. We should crush them now. But Admiral Korvath of the Creel frowned deeply. He had fought humans before. He had seen their ground armies fight with fury, their colonies rise after destruction, their soldiers refuse surrender. But this was different. This ship was not arrogance. It was something else. Something darker. He turned to his officers. Ready the fleet. If the humans will not leave, then we will show them the power of the galaxy. Across the blue star's orbit, fleets moved into position. Battleships turned their cannons. Living bioships opened their glowing maws. Plasma cannons charged, missiles armed, beams prepared to fire. The galaxy aimed everything it had at one single human warship. And still, the ship did not move. It floated there, silent and calm, like it was waiting for them. Some alien captains hesitated. Why was it so calm? Why had it not tried to flee? Why had it not spoken a single word? Was this human arrogance, or a trap? The silence stretched longer. Every second felt heavier. Fleets surrounded the lone vessel, locking it in from all sides. Admiral Corvatha's voice thundered across comms once more. Final warning. Leave. Or be erased. The fleets waited. Scanners kept failing. The warship remained still. But then, on the bridge of every ship, lights flickered. For a moment, the stars themselves seemed to dim. And in the dark hull of the human warship, the glowing lines brightened slowly, steadily, pulsing like the heartbeat of some ancient beast. The galaxy held its breath. And still, no word. No movement. Just the silent presence of one ship. But for the first time, no one laughed. The Predator had arrived. The alien fleets circled the lone human warship like wolves around a wounded prey. Hundreds of glowing ships, each armed with cannons and plasma launchers, waited for the signal to strike. From the observation decks of the alien flagships, commanders sneered. "This is madness," said Admiral Threx of the Creel Dominion. His scaled lips curled into a grin. One ship. Against the galaxy's might? Humans must have lost their minds. Across the star system, the galactic broadcast relayed the scene live. Billions of alien civilians watched the feed. To them, this was entertainment. The humans had dared to send a single vessel into the teeth of the galaxy's strongest fleets. Surely, they would be crushed in minutes. Yet, something about the human warship was unsettling. It had no banners. No fleet insignias. No transmissions. Just silence. Its black armor seemed to absorb the light of the nearby star. Its design was unlike any ship the galaxy had seen, sleek, sharp, and alive. For hours, the standoff continued. Finally, Admiral Vorkan of the Zark Union, a towering insectoid, slammed his claw on the console. Enough. Destroy it. End this insult. The order rippled across the fleets. Dozens of alien warships locked weapons on the lone human vessel. Red targeting beams danced across its hull. The galaxy held its breath. Fire. A storm of plasma bolts, missiles, and energy lances tore across the void. Explosions lit up space like fireworks. The star system shook with raw power as every alien empire tried to be the first to destroy the humans. For a moment, it seemed over. But then, the fire cleared. And the human warship was still there. Untouched. Not a single scorch mark on its surface. The alien admirals stared in disbelief. Their scanners confirmed it: no damage, no shields detected, no evasive maneuvers. The ship had simply ignored the attack. "What trick is this?" hissed Admiral Threx, his voice cracking with unease. The warship finally moved. Slowly, almost lazily, it turned toward the Creel Dominion's flagship. Its engines flared once, a ripple of silent energy flowing across the battlefield. Then it struck. No visible weapon. No missile. No beam. Just light. A thin line of white energy shot across space and sliced the Creel flagship clean in half. The massive vessel, pride of an empire, split apart like paper. Debris and fire spilled into the void. Thousands of alien soldiers screamed as their ship was torn apart. Silence followed. The galaxy froze in shock. Billions of viewers stared at their screens. One shot. One strike. A flagship destroyed. The other alien fleets panicked. Some ships pulled back. Others aimed weapons again, but their hands trembled. The human warship's hull began to glow with faint blue symbols, runes, perhaps, or markings of war. Its silent engines pulsed like a beating heart. It looked less like a machine and more like a predator stretching before a hunt. Admiral Vorkan shouted in fury, "Do not retreat. Attack again. Overwhelm it with numbers." 1,000 alien warships surged forward, weapons blazing. But the human vessel was no longer still. It moved like nothing the galaxy had ever seen. Faster than their eyes could follow, it slipped between ships, dodging blasts with impossible precision. Each movement was graceful, like a dancer weaving through fire. And every time it struck, a ship died. A single beam cut through 3 destroyers. A pulse of energy melted entire squadrons. Alien weapons passed through it as if the ship existed half out of phase, untouchable. Screams filled the communication channels. Admirals barked desperate orders. Fleets broke formation. Panic spread. Yet the human warship never spoke. Never transmitted a word. It fought in silence. Within minutes, dozens of alien ships were gone. The battlefield, once filled with the arrogance of empires, now echoed with fear. In the galactic broadcast, commentators stuttered. Impossible, how can one ship? Entire civilizations watching at home fell silent. For the first time in centuries, the galaxy knew fear. And still, the warship did not stop. At the heart of the battle, Admiral Threx's second-in-command whispered in terror, "This is not a warship. This is a monster." No one argued. The galaxy thought they were prepared. Hundreds of alien warships floated in formation, their weapons glowing, their commanders shouting orders. The lone human warship remained still, drifting in silence like a shadow among stars. The alien council of commanders argued over the comms. Fire first. Teach them a lesson. No, wait. What if it's a trap? They are only humans. One ship cannot fight all of us. Laughter mixed with fear. The human warship gave no answer, no signal, no sound. Its hull absorbed light, its engines glowed faintly, like a storm waiting to break. Finally, one impatient alien commander, a reptilian warlord from the Scyther Dominion, snapped. Enough. Destroy it. His fleet of 50 cruisers moved forward. Cannons charged, energy beams ready. The galaxy held its breath. The first shot blazed through the void, an energy beam brighter than a star. It hit the human warship directly. The explosion lit up the darkness, but when the fire cleared, the human ship still stood, untouched. Not even a scratch. Gasps spread through the alien fleets. That's impossible. No shield can withstand that. The Scyther warlord roared in frustration and ordered a full barrage. Dozens of beams, missiles, and plasma blasts rained down on the lone warship. Space shook with light and fire. Stars dimmed under the storm. But when the smoke cleared again, the human ship still floated in silence. Calm. Untouched. The aliens froze. For the first time, laughter stopped. Fear crept in. Then, suddenly, the human warship moved. Its engines flared once, a single pulse of energy. Faster than sight, it vanished and reappeared behind the Scyther fleet. Before the aliens could react, the warship released a single blast. It was not like alien weapons. It was not fire, or plasma, or lasers. It was pure silence, like space itself tearing apart. A beam of black energy cut across the Scyther ships. In one instant, 50 alien cruisers turned to dust. No wreckage. No survivors. Just silence. The galaxy trembled. Thousands of alien voices screamed across the comms. The Scyther warlord's flagship cracked apart, his final roar echoing before vanishing into nothing. The human warship returned to stillness. Engines quiet. Hull shining. Like nothing had happened. Across the fleets, panic spread. What kind of weapon is that? No technology does this, none. Humans were never this powerful. This is impossible. A silence fell. The aliens realized something terrifying. Humanity had hidden its true strength. The Galactic Council commander, an ancient insectoid leader, tried to keep order. His voice shook as he addressed the fleets. Do not fear. It is only one ship. Together, we are thousands. They cannot defeat us all. But deep inside, even he doubted his own words. Because the human warship had just erased 50 ships with a single strike. And it had not even fired again. The galaxy watched as the human ship slowly turned, its massive cannon glowing with dark light, pointing toward the rest of the fleets. This time, the aliens did not laugh. They prayed. The alien fleets stretched across the stars like a shining wall of metal. Thousands of ships moved in formation, surrounding the lone human warship. To them, it was already over. One ship could not fight against the galaxy. Admiral Karesh of the Threx Empire gave the first order. His fleet of spiked dreadnoughts moved closer, weapons glowing. He laughed in his command chair. Humans are fools. They dare stand against us with one ship. Fire warning shots. Show them their place. A dozen beams of plasma shot out, crossing space in seconds. They struck the human warship. Nothing happened. The beams hit, but instead of burning through metal, the energy scattered like water against a stone. The human ship did not shake, did not move. It was as if the weapons were nothing. Gasps filled the alien channels. Impossible, that was a full charge. Koresh growled. No matter. Hit them harder. Missiles followed. Hundreds of them, burning bright as they streaked through space. They exploded against the human hull in a storm of fire. The light was blinding. For a moment, the aliens thought it was finished. But when the flames cleared, the human ship was still there. Untouched. Silent. Fear began to spread. Even the arrogant voices grew quiet. Then, for the first time, the human warship moved. Its engines flared a cold blue, and the ship turned slowly toward the Threx fleet. The movement was small, almost lazy, but to the aliens, it felt like the gaze of a predator finally locking onto its prey. On every comm channel, a single human voice echoed. Calm. Cold. First strike, complete. The words were strange. Did the humans mean their first strike or the aliens? Confusion spread. But before anyone could answer, the human ship released its power. A single beam of light fired from the front of the warship. Thin. Silent. Almost gentle. It crossed the void in a blink and struck one Threx dreadnought. The alien ship did not explode. It did not burn. It simply vanished. One moment it was there, the next it was gone, erased from existence as if it had never been. The galaxy froze. Silence filled the channels. Then another beam fired. Another dreadnought gone. Then another. 3 ships vanished in less than 10 seconds. Admiral Koresh shouted, his voice breaking. Scatter the fleet. Scatter now. But it was too late. The human warship kept firing. Each beam erased a ship, not with fire or wreckage, but with nothingness. 100 years of alien engineering, destroyed like dust in the wind. Panic broke out. Ships collided as they tried to escape. Fleets that had mocked humans moments ago were now begging for distance. Stay back. Don't draw its attention. Why do their weapons do this? In the chaos, only one fleet held position, the Vayari Collective, cold and calculating. Their commander, Chancellor Orven, whispered in awe. This is not normal human technology. This is something older. Meanwhile, the lone human voice returned. Second strike, complete. Then silence again. The warship stopped firing. It hovered in space, calm and still, as if daring the galaxy to come closer. The remaining fleets hesitated. Thousands of ships, millions of soldiers, all frozen in fear of one silent vessel. In a hidden channel, alien leaders argued. We must retreat. No, if we retreat, we show weakness. They'll hunt us later. We cannot fight this. It is unnatural. And still the human ship waited. For the first time in centuries, the galaxy, the great empires, the endless fleets, was no longer laughing at humanity. They were staring into the unknown, into a power they could not understand. Whispers spread through every channel, every mind. The humans had hidden something. Their silence was not weakness, it was a warning. At last, Admiral Koresh, his pride broken, shouted what many were already thinking. Do not engage. Pull back. For the love of the stars, pull back. The fleets began to retreat. Order dissolved into panic. Thousands of warships, once gathered to prove their strength, now scattered like insects before a storm. But as they fled, one question echoed in every mind. If this is just one ship, how many more do humans have? The camera feeds across the galaxy, broadcasting the battle, cut one by one as leaders tried to hide the truth from their people. But it was too late. Billions had already seen it. The lone human warship drifted in silence. Its weapons powered down. Its engines dimmed. And then, without a word, it turned, and disappeared back into the rift it came from. The galaxy was left trembling in fear. The galaxy had never seen anything like it. Where once there had been thousands of alien warships, now there was silence. Debris floated in space like broken teeth scattered after a brutal fight. Entire fleets were gone, reduced to nothing in minutes. The human warship had not taken damage. Not a single scratch. Admiral Core of the Van Dominion sat frozen on his bridge. His once proud fleet of 500 ships was gone, wiped out in one strike. His hands trembled as he whispered, "It's not a warship, it's a nightmare." Other alien commanders tried to rally what was left. They sent calls across the stars. "All fleets regroup. Do not panic. It's only one ship." But their voices cracked with fear. Everyone had seen what the human ship did. The human advance. For the first time, the human warship moved. Its engines glowed brighter, a slow, steady pulse like the beating of a giant heart. The ship began to advance. It did not fly fast. It did not need to. Every step forward was like a predator walking toward its prey. The galaxy's fleets, once united in arrogance, now scrambled in panic. Some tried to flee. They jumped into hyperspace, but their jump drives failed. Something in the human ship's presence locked them in place. Escape was impossible. Others charged forward, desperate and wild. Thousands of missiles, lasers, and plasma bursts filled the void. The human ship's dark hull shimmered. The weapons simply bent away, like rain against a mountain. It answered with silence, and then, with a single beam of light, it erased another fleet. The Alien Council. Far away, in the Galactic Council chamber, chaos erupted. Leaders screamed at one another. Some demanded peace talks immediately. Others shouted for total war. "The humans cannot be allowed to control such power," one insectoid leader cried. "They already do," another answered. "We mocked them, we underestimated them, and now they can destroy us all." A reptilian warlord slammed his claws on the table. "Send more fleets. All empires must unite." But a smaller, trembling voice whispered from the shadows. "And if even all of us together are not enough?" The room fell silent. Everyone knew the truth. The galaxy's combined strength had been tested, and it was nothing. A message at last. Then it happened. After hours of silence, after endless destruction, the human warship finally spoke. A voice echoed across every ship, every planet, every council chamber. Cold. Calm. Human. "You laughed when we arrived. You thought humanity was weak. You thought one ship meant nothing. Now you understand." The voice paused, letting the silence stretch like a blade against every throat. "We did not come here to destroy you. We came here to warn you." A shiver spread through every listener. Warning. This was only a warning. Fear spreads. On one alien world, civilians screamed as they watched the broadcast. Parents held their children close. Soldiers dropped their weapons, hopeless. On another, priests fell to their knees, praying to their gods for salvation. The humans, they are not men. They are the end. Entire empires began to fracture. Some leaders begged for surrender. Others still wanted to fight. But all of them, every species, felt the same fear crawling in their bones. The test. The human voice continued. "This warship is not the strongest we have. It is only the first. A test. If you still wish to challenge Earth, then know this, we will bring more. And next time, we will not leave survivors." Gasps echoed through the council. If this was only a test ship, what horrors did humanity truly have? Admiral Core, still alive aboard his damaged command ship, whispered to himself. "Test. Gods help us. What kind of species builds something like this as a test?" The decision. The galaxy had no answer. Entire armadas floated in ruins. Millions of soldiers were gone. But the human warship did not finish them. Instead, it simply moved forward, through the wreckage, toward the heart of the galaxy. No one dared block its path. Finally, the council made a decision. A message was sent across all frequencies. "Humanity, we yield. We will open talks. We will not resist." The galaxy, once proud, once mocking, was now on its knees. The end of arrogance. As the warship advanced, alien eyes followed it with terror. The sound of its engines, that slow heartbeat of power, burned into their minds. It was not simply a ship. It was a promise. A promise that humanity was no longer a species to laugh at. A promise that if the galaxy pushed too far, there would be no tomorrow. And so, as silence spread once more across the stars, one truth became clear. The galaxy had mocked the humans. Now, the galaxy belonged to them. The galaxy was silent. The battlefield was nothing but drifting wrecks and broken fleets. The once proud warships of the alien empires now floated like empty shells, their lights gone, their crews silent. Millions of lives had been erased in minutes. And yet, in the middle of all this destruction, one ship still stood, the human warship. Untouched. Silent. Watching. Alien leaders across the galaxy watched the live transmissions in horror. What they had thought was weakness had turned out to be unstoppable strength. The War Council of the Draka, the strongest reptilian empire, trembled. One of their generals whispered, This is not war. This is execution." But still, the question burned inside every alien mind: why had the humans sent only one ship? The answer came suddenly. A signal pulsed out from the human warship. Not a voice, not an image, just text, clear and sharp across every alien screen. "We asked for peace. You answered with war. Now you understand." The words spread like fire. Billions across the stars read them. In every empire, silence followed. The message continued. This is not our strongest ship. This is not our fleet. This is only one. Remember that. Panic broke out in councils, palaces, and war rooms. If one ship could destroy hundreds of fleets, what would happen if Earth sent more? The human warship moved at last. Its engines glowed brighter than suns, and with a silent flash, it vanished into the void. Gone. The galaxy was left shaking. 4 days, no one spoke of attacking Earth again. Instead, a new fear spread. Was humanity planning something bigger? Was this only a warning shot? Alien citizens whispered in markets and streets. If one human ship can defeat the galaxy, what is Earth hiding? Why are they so quiet? Why don't they boast? Maybe they don't need to. And far away, on Earth itself, the humans watched. They had shown the galaxy only a shadow of their true power. The warship had returned home, its mission complete. In the halls of Earth's secret defense council, a single line was spoken by the commander of the warship. "They will not challenge us again. The galaxy finally knows." And with that, humanity had changed forever. No longer weak. No longer underestimated. From that day, the galaxy lived with one truth carved in fear. Never fight the humans. One warship was enough.